Hi, class. So, in the TED Talk presentation, the speaker brings up how we are losing to listen in our everyday lives. It is interesting in how he describes that any distraction can impair our hearing. We choose what we want to listen to, and eventually we might lose the meaning of what the conversation is really about. The speaker mentions throughout the video that conscious listening creates understanding. I think his interpretation of conscious listening is something I don't completely agree with because I feel like we can actively listen. But he also makes a good point in suggesting how to improve listening with 5 good exercises. I agree with 2 out of the 5 exercises suggestions on improving listening because I think it can help with my everyday life. The first one would be silence. I have wanted to try this as if it was a meditation exercise too. I think I can find at least 3 minutes a day to listen to silence. It could help me focus on one sound or one conversation only. The second suggestion that I think could improve my listening is the RASA technique, which was the acronym that he mentioned in the end. It looks like something I can do easily since I communicate with many people every day. I can apply it to my job where I talk to patients and doctors. Usually, when patients and doctors call me, it's about a problem in our company's testing or pricing. I may not be in customer service, but I can take my time with conversations so that both the patient and the doctors know we are taking them seriously and would do everything in our power to help satisfy their needs. One example I could think of in where I could have listened better was the time I was talking to my boyfriend about a trip to Hawaii we would take together. Our problem was money, time, and planning. I didn't listen to the conversation properly and just assumed we were going because our goal was to do it by my birthday. In the conversation, he mentions what to do and how to actually save money for it. I did not take that in consideration because all I heard was that we were planning to take this trip together because it will be our first big trip together. He tried explaining to me that it was impossible to do it, especially if my spending habits still kept on going the way they are now. If I were to apply what I learned in the video to this conversation, it would have been the part about listening positions. I felt like I was more of a passive listener than an active listener. I was presently listening to my boyfriend speak about the trip, but I didn't think about the deeper significance of it because the only way to do the trip is if I stop my bad habits of spending money on unnecessary things. If I switched the roles to being more of an active listener, we would have avoided our fight about money and time, so that this trip would at least been in our minds and to have it as a goal instead of doing it right away. So that was my example of not being a very good listener.